Hi everyone, my name is Christina Jaworski. I am your Arcade Academy trainer for the next little bit. A little weird that we're doing this training through a video, but these times are crazy, so I hope I can give you guys all the information and ins and outs of Arcade Academy that I've learned through the years so that you're prepared to move forward with it, hopefully in person in the fall when we are back with our students. So a little bit about myself. Again, my name is Christina Jaworski. I teach at St. Greg's over in Williamsville. I'm going on to my 8th year already. Sometimes I can't believe it. I teach currently Reader's Workshop and Writer's Workshop, Science and Religion. Every year it's been a little bit different, but that is going to be what I am moving forward with in the fall in 5th grade. Always been in 5th grade, taught a little bit of 6th grade as well. So that's really my age group that I feel the most passionate about teaching. So I'm glad I've been blessed enough to stay in that grade all these years because I feel like I'm a pro at 5th grade now. A little bit about Arcade Academy and what it is. It's an amazing program that I've done for 6 years now with my students. You can do this across the grade levels. You can kind of modify it for the younger kids and maybe make it a little bit more, tricky for the older kids. I've done it with grades 3 through 7. But again, you can really fix it and mold it to fit the needs of any grade level. I find like my 4th through 6th graders, they want to come back year after year to create a new game and just see what else they can do and top what they created the year before. I run it as an after school program. I know every school is a little bit different of when they fit stream into their day. We do our stream as an after school club, so it really gives us that fun time after school to kind of just unwind, be off of school mode, and really just focus on our creative side and get those juices flowing and give the kids a time to just really create something that's their idea based off something that maybe they love on their own, or it's just a complete new idea that's come to them that they've wanted to create. So Arcade Academy is really just amazing to give students the opportunity to explore their creative side and come up with amazing arcade games that you can't even imagine making out of cardboard, but they somehow find a way to do it. And it's amazing to watch the process start to finish. Those first couple weeks where they're coming up with their designs and this and that, and then the finished result, to see that progress is such an amazing experience. So Arcade Academy is based off of a boy named Kane. He is obviously a little bit older now than the video I'm going to show you a clip of from a minute, but this is who inspired Arcade Academy. This boy who was bored on the weekends when he wasn't in school. He had to go with his dad to his auto parts shop, and he had nothing to do, just sit there. So he would take his dad's old boxes that he wasn't using and create them and turn them into arcade games. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of this. And this is Kane's arcade website. It is up and running. It's added to not, on a daily basis, but from time to time there's updates. You can see that there's a 5 years later how he still inspires, 4 years later. So they did really work well with trying to update us on where Kane is. And if you even go to YouTube and search him now, I recently found a video of where he is even further in life. So he's, I think, at the point of college. So this video is from a few years back, but it's amazing to watch and see how this inspiration for Arcade Academy became to be. Because it's such an inspiration to see who Kane is and what he was able to create on his own. So in regards to that, watch both of those videos that you see posted right here, Kane's Arcade and Kane's Arcade 2, just so you have that background before you start doing this course with your students. And then you will be able to show these. It's on a set day that we will talk about in a few moments, but the students love watching it. The kids that I have year after year, they look forward to getting to watch it again because they remember how much they enjoyed it the year before. So as you're getting ready to run this course, if you're anyone like me, I get a lot of Amazon purchases. That means I have a lot of boxes lying around. So anytime you get a delivery, save that cardboard box. Any, plastic bottles, a milk bottle, your shoe boxes, whatever it may be, save it. Save the things that you think take up room, but they're going to mean so much to the kids once it comes time to this course. Any junk drawers you have of things that have just been sitting there that have no purpose to you anymore, put them aside and your kids will find a use for them. Old toy chests, if your kids have grown up, or even in your classroom, if there's things that no one's using anymore, put them aside. And I highly recommend this next bullet. Purchase a box cutter for personal use. These kids want some of the thickest boxes cut, so it's very good to have a box cutter. I have a stack of them because sometimes the box is so thick that it even breaks the box cutter. So have that. Of course, the kids are not allowed to use the box cutters. I know you all know that. It's common sense as a teacher to know what our students can and cannot use, but definitely have a stack of box cutters because they are a lifesaver when it comes to cutting these boxes. And then there's also a video, cardboard challenge video. It is on Kane's website, more towards the beginning of the school year, so I unfortunately always miss it with my students. But it's amazing to watch just what students around the world, not even just locally, in many other countries are coming up with out of cardboard. So I highly recommend finding that and check it out. So obviously the STREAM courses are all based on the engineering design process. This is something I'm sure you're all very, very familiar with. We do it on a daily basis. Even when we're not realizing we're doing this engineering design process, we're doing it with all of our lessons, identifying what the problem is, brainstorming the solutions to that problem, picking out and creating the solution that you think is the best. What's best going to help me solve what my problem was? Testing your solution and evaluating your solution. And Arcade Academy goes perfectly along with this. Every kid's got their favorite arcade game when they go to Putt-Putt or a bowling alley or wherever they may go and there's arcade games. They will find their favorite, or they might have their idea of a completely new game they want to test out. But the problem is, how can I create a arcade game out of recyclable objects? That's the problem. That's their challenge. And you will see they will brainstorm multiple ideas to come up with the best way to create their game. What kind of boxes do I need? What extra materials do I need? Do I need plastic? Do I need this? Do I need that? So they really come up with some amazing brainstorming ideas. And then they choose that idea. They settle on their idea. Some years I have students who want to work completely on their own. Some years I have students who have come to Arcade Academy's course already with their idea set in stone, knowing they want to work on it together. There's been years where kids have decided to do like a dual game where they each have their idea and then they come together and make it into one. So it's really amazing to see the possibilities that there are. They're endless with this, but they will create their solution that they think is best. What game is best? How are we going to make this the best? And I have them give me a shopping list. If they don't have materials at home, the Dollar Tree will become your best friend. In a little bit, I'm going to show you just some of the simple materials that I get year after year that the students use and just find so many ways to use them too. And it's helpful. I mean, a Dollar Tree purchase, you can buy a pack of something, you get multiple things, and it goes so far with the kids. And then the testing the solution, creating the game. How does it work? Have I met that problem? What game am I trying to create? Does it look like that game? Does it work like that game? And then the end to evaluate your solution. What do I need to add to it? We have that time built into this course where the students can take that time and work together with other groups or people that did not work with them so they can maybe give some good, solutions or suggestions of how to make the game even better. But it's fantastic to see this process taking place throughout Arcade Academy and in everyday teaching. So I want to go ahead and go through the sessions with you. Session 1 is always such a fun day. They all are, but that opening course where you get to just start talking with the students about what an arcade game is, what their favorite arcade games are, how do they play them, what do they look like. So just some of the objectives from session 1, students will share the similarities and differences of games they enjoy and experiences with inventing games. As I said, this gives students like that time to kind of brainstorm together and have that discussion and let that like excitement start showing what games they love. I mean, everyone loves a good arcade game. And they really enjoy getting to talk about it. You see like that passion come out of them. And you'll be surprised how many kids will come and say, "Oh, I've created this game. I've invented this game before." So it's such a really good, concrete, strong way to start your first arcade session by having this conversation about arcade games in general, or board games, or just outdoor games that they may play. And it's fun to listen to them brainstorm ways that make a game fun or good. Like what makes them want to play it? What makes it enjoyable? What makes them want to go back to it time and time again? And then what students are going to do at the end of the session is begin inventing a pizza box game. So luckily, pizza boxes are easily readable. If you go to your local pizzeria, maybe one that you frequent, and ask for just a handful of pizza boxes, they more than likely will just donate them to you. I've gone to a family friend who is a pizzeria owner, and he has graciously donated clean, brand new pizza boxes. I've even gone to Tops in the past and asked for a few, but have these ready to go for your first session because the students are going to just kind of get their creative juices flowing. And just a simple tiny pizza box with materials you have in front of them, like the simple Dollar Tree materials that I was talking about, they will come together and create a pizza box game. This probably will not be finished in session 1. I always go back to it in session 2 just to give those students more time to, like in session 1, kind of brainstorm and get their juices flowing and come up with ideas and kind of look at the materials they have in front of them to know what they want to use for their game. So this is a really easy session. Just have the pizza boxes ready to go and just your bin of materials that you will be provided by the diocese. And if there's something in there that you don't see that you want, just go stock up at the Dollar Tree. You won't break the bank and the students will appreciate it so much. So session 2 is where they will continue inventing their pizza box game, and then they get to present their game. But it's really important that they have the objective. If they can't explain the objective, then it's hard to know the purpose of that game. So make it very, very, make it important to them that they are able to explain what the game's objective is, what they want their classmates to be able to do, or how they want them to be able to complete the game. And then give them the rest of the time to play each other's games. Have them offer one compliment and one suggestion. This ends up always being such a great discussion that we have going because the students like giving compliments. Sometimes we don't always see those compliments and we hear the little nagging and this and that. But when you're in a situation like this, students love giving each other compliments of what they really liked about their game. They like playing each other's games. And the suggestions are always really helpful. They're not mean, they're not rude. The kids want to help each other. And, maybe if they're making a pinball game out of the pizza box and, the one little part of the game didn't work, they can say, well, maybe you can add this rubber band here or something like that. So it's really great to see them come together and offer each other suggestions of how to maybe make their game a little bit better. For session 3, and here again we see that. Oh, let me go back to homework. This is when you want them to start going home and collect anything that they may have that is a box, a shoebox, a box of cereal, plastic bottle, food container, any other materials that would normally be recycled. Have them bring it in. Don't let their parents recycle it that week. Have them bring it in the next week, so they can get started with their collection of materials. Again, you might be saving boxes, which I highly recommend, because some students want huge boxes, others end up using small ones, but not everyone gets deliveries of a new refrigerator every year. So it's good to have as many size boxes as you can to provide for the students as well. So when they come to that next week or session, they should have just some boxes that they've collected, just to kind of start storing and getting ready to use. And there has been so many times where parents are just so ready to get rid of boxes, they send in even more than their own child will need, and other students can use what the other child has brought in. And it's great to see that collaboration of sharing materials. So definitely keep like a corner of your room, or a different, whatever room you're using, just find a spot to store those boxes, because they can pile up. I've had many years where I have taken every corner and nook and cranny of my classroom to store all of these amazing boxes. So in session 3, the students will analyze their pizza box game just one more time. It's really good to kind of sit back, have time away, and analyze the successes of it, maybe something that didn't work. And I always tell my students, it's okay to fail sometimes. Doesn't mean anything's wrong. You tried something new, and if you didn't get the result that you wanted, it's okay. You learn from that result. How could I make this game better next time? What component can I take out, or what component can I add to make it better and work better? And it's really amazing that they are honest with each other and themselves during all of this. The students aren't like afraid to be wrong when they're analyzing things like this. And then this is where you will begin watching Kane's Arcade. And again, have a really good discussion about it when you're done, because it just leads, this video gives the students such excitement about what they're about to start doing on their own, and they have so much to say about it. So much to say about what games Kane was able to create, and how they want to do that game or that game and things like that. And Kane even has a little fun pass that he uses a calculator to like code it and everything. It's amazing. You just got to see it to know. But the kids create fun passes. I have kids every year create fun passes that they can hand out to their classmates when they come to play the game. So definitely have some really rich discussion about Kane's Arcade after you're done. Don't just move on to the next step in your binder. Just watch the video and have a really good discussion. And then from there, this is going to get the students truly thinking about what they want their arcade game to look like. So have them start, investigating some games and materials and designs that they need. This is the week you might want to ask them what materials they might need that they don't have. And like I said, everything I'm going to show you is from the Dollar Tree, and it's amazing what I spend, but the amount that I get to use with these students. So things like glue sticks, hot glue gun, you will get in your kit, and you're going to go through it really quickly. The Dollar Tree sells hot glue gun sticks, and they also even sell glitter ones that the girls absolutely love. So definitely check out your store for that. Popsicle sticks, a pack of popsicle sticks you will get for $1, a huge pack. I think it's 50 per pack. So get a handful of them, and you will not believe what the students end up doing with these. Things like glitter glue. You can see I need to replace mine. It's a little empty, but the girls, again, especially love using the glitter glue. It helps to just kind of decorate and just stick some minor little things on your game. Those little mini pom-poms, those go far as well, just for decoration purposes. Yarn is another huge, huge thing that just helps them tie things together, or just kind of put something like kind of tiny that maybe doesn't need glue, just to tie it around. Ping pong balls, those are very popular in this game, or in this course, I should say. They find uses for a ball in any way they can. Every year I have students say, get me 6, get me 10. So definitely find these for your students. Pipe cleaners, and they come in a variety of colors, of course, and there's even some glitter one as well that you can find at the Dollar Tree. Packs of stickers, just for decoration as well. Even like those little toys, like toy animals. This is a spider. I have an airplane here, things like that. The boys love using army men, especially if they're using it for, a game where I've had boys make a soccer game. So these are their goalies and their guards and things like that. And the list goes on and on. Have supplies of like scissors, regular glue, markers, crayons, colored pencils, construction paper. And again, your bin is also going to have a lot of this stuff already, but you're going to go through it quick. I replenish year after year, and I just make sure anything that the Dollar Tree has, I get it because I know we'll find uses for it. So just ask your students if there's anything you may not currently have that they want, and check out the Dollar Tree first. Again, highly recommend. I love the Dollar Tree for everything. And then here's just a source for your videos. There's Kane's website, and it even has a YouTube link because the video is posted on YouTube. And then send them home with some homework that night. And this is homework they don't mind doing. Yeah, they don't like doing our math and ELA homework we send them home with. But when it comes to something like this, they will gladly do it and come to the next session prepared. So allow students to do a little bit more research on Kane's Arcade. Give them time to watch it again, show it to their parents, talk about it. Have them record more ideas and knowledge and use their note-taking skills to kind of just come up with their own ideas that they were kind of like influenced by Kane to come up with. What light bulb went off when they were watching that video? Gather materials, have them again, anything at home before their parents recycle it. Save it, bring it next time. Whether it's a little plastic water bottle or they've got a new pair of shoes, save that stuff because you don't know what you're going to need until you really start creating your game. And if there's ideas that they want to add, bring them in. But really remind them, don't go shopping for anything. Don't make them go out to get these things because then they're going to go out and make a huge shopping list for their parents and buy very, very expensive items. And we want these games to be solely based on recyclable materials, because that's the whole purpose of this. How can you take a piece of cardboard or a plastic bottle and turn it into something amazing? We don't want arcade games made of metal and wood and things like that. We want this to be basic recyclable materials that they can really turn into something amazing. So session 4 is where students' teams will walk through the design process and document, and then they start building. This is where you get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's get our materials going and let's build. And this is probably their most favorite day because they're waiting for this moment to have their materials in front of them and just go at it. And to see the thinking and the quietness in the room during this time, because they're thinking so hard. They're looking at what they have and how can I put this box with this pipe cleaner and this ping pong ball with this yarn. So let them work. Give them this time to just start and be amazed by what they come up with in this first session alone. And again, I see year after year, most of my students already have their thoughts ready to go before they even come into our first session. So they probably will be prepared even from day one for this moment. So just sit back, help them with the box cutting, but I just sit there and I move from student to student or group to group, and I just watch the amazement of them coming up with this idea and putting it into place. So it's really, really awesome to watch. And then session 5, students continue to build. But this is important to kind of have this little discussion because it's got to be planned with weeks in advance. At the end of this, you want to show off the students' work. They worked hard for all of these weeks, and they know that they've worked hard all these weeks, and they want to show their classmates or the school their arcade. So this is a time to kind of come together and figure out a day, whether it's during a school day, maybe a little after school thing, maybe there's an event going on at school that they can run this. It's always worked out for me and my students that we finish around Thanksgiving time with our games. So we always have a half day around Thanksgiving, and we use that half day, and we've set up in the gym and set different time frames for each grade level to come in and play our arcade games. Now, of course, we can't have a school of, 400 students coming in a half day's worth of time. So another purpose of hosting this arcade is to collect donations to donate to a charity. Every year, my students and I decide to donate to Roswell Park. There have been years where we have collected over $150, and we don't charge a lot for the students to come in to play the arcade. We've done anywhere from 50 cents to $1, and that lets you enter the arcade, and then you get to play every game that's available. So it's, a simple donation of 50 cents or $1, and then that goes a far way. And every year I get a thank you note back from Roswell Park, and I share it with the students, and they feel so good that they were able to do something that they enjoyed and made money for a charity through that purpose. So really have a good conversation. You might have students who have a charity that means a lot to them because a family member, has gone through something, and there's an organization that's a part of their journey. So definitely ask for suggestions. But every year we go through suggestions, and the students always decide on Roswell Park. So I've been able to, through all of these years, probably donate close to $400 throughout all of these years. So it's really, really awesome. So those are the two things you want to talk about during session 5. When are we hosting our arcade? What do we want it to look like? Make some flyers, make brochures, whatever. Post them throughout the school. Let people know that this arcade's going to be coming. And also brainstorm what charity you want to use for your donation. And you might have a half day. Maybe you've got a concert coming up and you guys want to set up your arcade. One year I used our school's craft show around Thanksgiving time as well, and we set up in a corner and people came through and played our games when they were done with the craft show. There's even been years where I've just set it up in my classroom and had certain grade levels that were participating in that specific year, just their classmates come through my classroom at certain times, so they get to play each other's games. There's a lot of ways you can make this arcade happen. It's just, of course, everyone's schedules look different in their buildings, so whatever works best for you. But make sure you find this time. Don't just let them create the games and bring them home. Let them show it off to their fellow students and classmates and their other teachers, because they should have this opportunity to show off their creativity and the things that they've been able to come up with. So in session 6, you can start talking about the charity. I always talk about it in session 5 just because it gives them that time to think of the whole purpose of when they want to run their arcade. And you can use session 6 to maybe kind of decide on that final charity. Maybe they went home and told their parents about the charity that day, and their parents might say, well, grandma has suffered this, and this organization was really helpful to her during that time. So maybe you can revisit the charity at this point after they've gone home and talked about it and really decide on session 6. But have the starting discussion of it in session 5. And then this is where we really need to decide who's going to come. Do you want to make it an after-school event so that parents are coming too? And, maybe siblings that don't belong to the school. And then just really use session 6 as your final day to say, this is what our arcade is going to look like. And then let them continue to build. Let them start going to each other's games and offer suggestions. Again, maybe they're making something like skee-ball and they can't figure out how to make a compartment to store their balls in it. Well, after they're throwing it, they pick one up, throw another one. Maybe another student has an idea that they can offer to that student. So definitely give them this time during session 6 because they've already gotten started and probably have a lot of work done by this point. And this is the time where they might start to get stuck and need that little bit of help from other students to maybe offer them suggestions of how to add something to their game, or what is my game missing? What do you think I need? Session 7, kind of like make sure you have the finishing details about this game or arcade of when it's going to be, because you're running out of time at session 7. You want to make sure if it's like going to be at an after school event like a concert or sporting event, that you've gotten permission, of course, from your principal to use that event to run your arcade. So at this point in time, go over the final details. This is when it is, this is what it's going to look like, this is the charity that we are going to donate to, whatever money that we collect. And then come up with some brochures or papers and just signs that the students can post around the school. If you have not already done this, they love doing this part. Making like little posters to post around the school so they can show off that they are going to be a part of this really cool arcade. So make sure that the advertisement is done and complete by this point so that the word is out. I even have posted on email. I have sent parents like a little reminder, this is going to be happening. Make sure if your student wants to participate, have them bring in the dollar, things like that. It's been on the announcements. I have the announcement people in the morning make sure that they announce that this arcade is coming up in a couple weeks. Please bring $1, please bring 50 cents, whatever it may be. But it always is important to get the word out, and don't just expect a poster to be read. Get the word out in every way you can imagine. And then in regards to the working portion of this, have students evaluate even the tiniest details in their game, the beauty of their game. What do they have? Like, is it appealing? Are students going to want to come play their game? This might be the point where they start adding some decorations and color. Make sure that there's a name to the game posted somewhere visible. Just make sure to remind them that this is the session where things want to be inviting on their game. And then have them just keep working. It's really important to give them enough time to work. Depending how much time you have, we only have an hour after school when I run this, so I make sure these last few sessions it's as little bit of talking as possible and a whole lot more building and working. So make sure, you quickly go over your finishing details of what your arcade's going to look like, but really give them a lot of time to focus on, what decorations do I need? How am I going to make this look really eye-catching? And what do I still need to do to finish my game? And this is just a really helpful suggestion of the information you might want to have on an invitation to an arcade. Definitely have the dates and the location, the times that it's going to be running. If you're having it specific to what time each grade level can come, make sure you put that in here so that teachers can plan accordingly. If it's during the school day, they'll know that first grade's coming from 10 to 10:30, so they can plan their schedule out to make sure that their students are available to come. The cost, again, don't go over $1. Keep it very simple, but I year after year have students donate more than $1 because they know what the cause is and their family's been impacted by it and they want to give. So make sure to not have it cost over $1. But also, if there's a kid who shows up and they forgot to bring their money, don't turn them away, because that's just so heartbreaking for that student. Maybe their best friend has created a game and they don't have the 50 cents. Let them in. Don't ever turn anyone away. But it's amazing. You'll see how many kids actually do bring money to donate to the cause. Because like I said, you want to have everyone participate in this arcade, but sometimes we don't have the whole day to do it. So this is where you can really work out those specific details that work best for your school. And don't forget to put who it benefits, if it's Roswell Park or another cancer organization or whatever it may be. Have it clearly stated who this is going to be donated to so that the students are prepared and know, well, why do I have to bring $1? Why can't I just play the game? And then arcade constructed by. List the students. Let them take pride in this. Let them get their name out there that they've created this game. So that, former teachers will be like, I taught him, 5 years ago. I want to go check out the work that he's created. So definitely give them that ownership to get their names out there as well. And then session 8. Students will evaluate finishing touches needed on their games, communicate arcade academy event details and student roles, who's going to do what, is there going to be a money collector, are certain students going to have a certain role for their game if they've each if there's been a team of people. Is someone going to be the money collector? Is someone going to be the ball holder? Is someone going to be the return person? So just make sure if they're working in groups, they know their roles for the game. And then this is where their game, is completed. The building's done, the decorations have been done, and the testing of the game has been done. So at this point, session 8 is the last really needed session. There are 2 optional sessions that you can complete if you have the time available, and I will go through those with you in a moment. But they're really, really great. It's really great to make sure with session 8, it's finished around the time that the extreme games will be going on, because you also get to send a couple students to the extreme games run at St. Joe's through the diocese to show off their arcade games to hundreds of people who are there for the event, since every Stream Academy is there that day. So definitely kind of make sure it's time that you can get someone there that day for sure at the extreme games to show off their school pride and the things that they have completed. So with that being said, before I move on to the optional things here, I want to show you just through the years some of the games that have been created by my own students. So this was called Glow Ball. It was similar to Skee Ball. They had glow sticks, so when the lights were off, it was able to glow. So hence their name, Glow Ball. This was a football game, like the little mini paper football that you just have to shoot over a goalpost. Amazing work as always. And duct tape. I forgot to mention duct tape. It is a fan favorite. Amazon, you can get every variety of color and design of duct tape. Have a lot of duct tape. This is all green duct tape for their game here. This was another amazing one, an air hockey table, and they made it double. You can tell that this was a box from a refrigerator that was delivered. They were able to create a double-sided one so 4 people could be playing at once. And they did bring plastic, little shooters to hit back and forth with a puck. But that's okay if you have plastic things like that thrown in at the end just to help them, make their game the best that it can be. But this was a fan favorite for sure. And here's Glow Ball glowing with the lights here. This was the year that we did it at the craft show. So we were set up in a corner of the school as people were walking through. Here's another one, another skee-ball-esque game. Skee-ball is always very popular. This is here we did it in the cafeteria, so each grade level was assigned a time to pop on in. Here is the event at St. Joe's, the Extreme Games. They love to give out prizes, as you can see here. They have a table of pencils and erasers to pass out to anyone that plays their game. This one was one of those games where you have to knock down the cup with a ball. This was a Minecraft themed game. I remember this year they all worked together to kind of meet one theme and create their components of it. This was a pinball game, another very cool one. This was another Minecraft inspired game. A little slingshot to kind of aim and hit something off the board. And then again, this cup that you see here held the ball in place, and it kind of moved back and swung forward. So, I mean, cups even have on hand. This one was like a whack-a-mole. I think it was called like Rainbow-a-mole. And you were able to, they made a hammer out of just a plastic container. I think it was a water bottle, and they put beads in it, filled to the top so it was heavier, and that was their tool to use. As you can see right here, the girls that did it. And these are, if you are noticing as I'm going through these, some of these faces are familiar. I'm going through years and years worth, so they come back year after year. Definitely. This was a golf-inspired game to get a hole-in-one. This was a year that I ran the arcade for classmates in my classroom. You can see it got pretty crazy in there, but it just was the way it worked out best that year. We didn't have another time to do it, so I took some time out of our schedule to make sure they were able to show off their game. Here's another hockey-inspired one, the rainbow one, more arcade going on. But you can see that we have had a blast with this stuff. So please make sure you take lots of pictures the day of your arcade, because they're so great to look back on. It brings back so many memories when I look at all of those. So session 9 is one of the optional sessions. If you've got extra time in your schedule and you want to challenge the students, have them learn about simple circuits and adding a simple circuit to their game. It's amazing what they can come up with. I've only been able to attempt this with my students once, as this is kind of a new little addition to the game. But definitely have them try this if you have the time available. Have them draw, a simple circuit on paper. You might have to obviously do, a lesson on what a simple circuit is if students aren't sure what they are, and have them brainstorm how to incorporate a simple circuit into their game. And then there's a little video you can show that will help them, again, try to understand what a simple circuit is. I'll show you just a quick moment of this. I've shown this series many times before in my class. But this is definitely a challenge for the kids. If you don't know how to do this, or you don't have these materials, go to your science teachers in the school, and they will have all this. Your stream coordinator should have all this stuff. But it's good if your kids want to have a light on their game go off, like if a student gets a hole-in-one when they're playing the game, and they want the light to go off. That could be a challenge you face. Have them face to come up with. And then session 10 is actually adding the simple circuit to their game and testing it and creating it and improving it. And again, this is if time permits. I know we're usually up to our session 8, and then Extreme Games is a week or two away, so we tend to not have time for this. But if you do, it's highly recommended to challenge your students, or even if you want to come back to it after the Extreme Games and have your students try adding this component to their games, it's awesome, and they will not say no to have 2 more sessions with you to do something like this. So again, if you have any questions about this at all, you can always email me, and you'll get my email in a further training. But you will get your binder of information. It's got the whole script of what every session looks like. So you just read through it. I write notes for myself. Sorry, you're not seeing it here. So definitely use this as your teaching guide. I tend to not need to use my binder anymore because, like I said, I've taught it for 6 years. So I kind of know the ins and outs, and you can make this your own a little bit too. Throw your own ideas in it. Make it best. You know what your students need and what will reach them best. So this is your guide, and go off of it as much or as little as you need to, and definitely have some fun with it. Boxes, like I said, here is an Amazon box. You know, any size, keep them, store them in your basement, wherever you might need to. Behind me, I've got some bigger boxes that are sitting on my floor. Those are some Target ones. So, you know, anything that you can collect, just keep it, store it, find a spot, and use it when you get to do this with your students. So again, I hope this was helpful. I really just wanted to share some of my own experiences, not tell you how you have to do this, but just kind of say and offer ideas that I've done in the past that have worked. But again, make it your own, have fun with it. Have as much fun with this as the kids do. Maybe as they're making a game, make one of your own with them. Show them that, you know, you're a part of this. But it's also really important to note that you shouldn't show them a model. You shouldn't tell them you have to make a game that looks like this. Don't give them restrictions. Don't give them a thing that they have to go off of. Let them do all of this on their own. And you know, we are a Catholic faith. Maybe have them add in religion to this in any way. It is STREAM. So just make sure they're able to focus on this in the ways that are best for them. Don't restrict them. Of course, you know, they can't make something that requires a chainsaw to cut through their box, but just let them be their own facilitators. Let them be their own teachers. Sit back, help them when they need help, but let them run this course in their own ways, because they're all going to have their own ideas. And as I said, you are going to be amazed by what they come up with on their own. And they probably will maybe not even say 2 words to you the whole session unless they need the box cutter and you go over and cut that little part of the box off for them. But they really take charge. And this is one of the most enjoyable STREAM courses. For that reason, that they aren't restricted. They don't have one set goal that they have to meet. Their only goal is a broad one, create an arcade game. But we're not going to tell them it has to be skee-ball, it has to be pinball, it has to be soccer-based. Let them take charge in that way. And that is my best suggestion that I can offer you guys, is to be kind of back scene. Teach them the first couple sessions, you know, what is Arcade Academy, what's the engineering design process, who is Kane. But then, you know, starting session 4, you back off and let them take charge in their own creation, okay? So it's been a pleasure recording this video for you. I believe we'll be meeting later in August for a little Zoom training. If you need anything else during that time, I will be there to answer any questions. And if you need to reach out to me before that or after that, my email is cjawrski@stgregschool.org, and I will get back to you. If you need, you know, further pictures, I have hundreds. Of course, most of them are on my work computer, not my home laptop, but just let me know in any way that I can be an assistance, and I will be there to help you guys. So I hope you are all staying well and healthy and enjoying some rest and relaxation after a crazy second half of the school year with our distance and remote learning. And I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care. Bye.